How's it going, everybody? This is RBT coming at you with my Friday questions and answers, episode 38. Do want to apologize. It's coming out a couple of days late. Just got done watching the Alabama LSU game. Just made a recap video for that. I'm uploading that right now. So I decided to go ahead and record this video because I didn't get a chance to do it yesterday. So I'm not sure if I'm going to upload this tonight or tomorrow. Probably Sunday afternoon I'll upload this since I'm uploading the Alabama LSU recap right now. So be looking for this Sunday afternoon. Got about 26 comments to go and questions, and I do want to say I can no longer respond to comments anymore because you can't comment on videos anymore unless you do what YouTube's trying to do and force you into making a Google Plus account. And I'm not making a Google Plus account. I want my YouTube account to be strictly YouTube, not Google, anything Google related, not Google Plus, none of that. I just want a YouTube account. That's all I want. And it's stupid how they're forcing you. They changed the whole entire comment section, and out of everything that YouTube's changed, out of all the layouts and everything, this is obviously by far the worst thing they've done, and they're getting a lot of hate for it. And hopefully they change it back, because I mean that's just stupid. So I can no longer respond to comments or comment on my own video unless I change it. I'm not getting a Google Plus account. That's just stupid. Absolutely stupid. I'm not going to use it. Don't want it. Don't want the extra features on here. I just want a YouTube account. Alright, let's start. Our point says, do you think the Panthers will make the playoffs? Yeah, I actually do. I'm not sure if they're going to win the South, but are they going to make the playoffs? Yeah, I really do think so. If they win this week against the 49ers, or tomorrow, or if when you're watching this video today, they beat the 49ers, I believe they're strong enough to win the South. Will they do it? I'm not sure, but I think most definitely they at least get a wild card spot. They could win the South, but I would definitely, for sure, they're going to get a wild card spot if they don't win the South. XX Black Mamba XX24XX says, do you think Tom Brady is losing his swagger? No, I don't. I just think that he just doesn't have the receivers that he usually has. He's as good as he usually is. He's still leading his teams to victory. That's all that matters. Victory is all that matters. Stats does not. And he's still a good quarterback. He's top in the NFL. It'll take a while to get chemistry with his receivers. Let me tell you this quick story. I think it's pretty cool. I think it was the week before last or last week. Not the past game, the week before that. It was the week that Aaron Dobson had this long touchdown pass. One of the days during the week, Tom Brady was talking to Aaron Dobson there in practice and told him that he wanted him to stay after practice and work on a route for a while. And Aaron Dobson thought he was just joking, and he was like, "No, man, I'm being serious." So Aaron Dobson, I don't know what to expect, said after practice and worked on Tom Brady with this certain route. I'm not sure what route it was. I can't remember, but eventually they stayed after practice for about 5 hours, so about 8 o'clock at night, and that Sunday they scored on that exact route. So if he can get that type of time with all his receivers, I mean, that's the type of quarterback Tom Brady is. It's the type of leader he is. So he'll be just fine. The Patriots will be just fine. They'll make the playoffs. They'll win their division. They're fine. Mega UJ Dog says, with both Tennessee and Missouri on the rise, do you think the SEC Eastern Division will be the new talk of the SEC rather than the SEC West? Also, first to Alabama on Twitch. Okay. No, I don't think so. I think how can I put this? I think the SEC East will be the better division from top to bottom, if you disregard Kentucky. But I think still the SEC West will have the top 4 best teams in the conference, and I think they also make them the better division. But top to bottom, I think you could say East is more the if you're going to categorize the SEC teams in the four tiers: Alabama tier, the above average tier, the mid-level tier, and the low tier, and the very low tier, which is pretty much Kentucky. I'd say that the SEC East has a good amount of teams that's on the brink of above average to average, somewhere in between there, and top to bottom, that's about how they are. So I think as a whole, they're better than the West Division, or going to be better than the West Division in the next couple seasons. But I think the West will still be tops with the Alabama, LSU, A&M, and obviously Auburn's looking like one of the best teams in the SEC too. So, our next question from Mega UGA Dogs again: who will be the SEC Coach of the Year? Is Florida's era of dominance over the Dogs over? Yes, to that one, obviously. I think Florida's completely, it's just, they're done for unless they get a new coach. Their brand of offense is not going to get it done. And now with their defense playing the way it is, he's gone, I think. I think he's definitely gone. Who will win SEC Coach of the Year? Comes down to two guys, I think. Well, three. I mean, with the way Nick Saban has Alabama going, you have to have him in the discussion. But I think it'll come down to either Gary Pinkel of Missouri or Gus Malzahn at Auburn. Probably Gus Malzahn, with this being his first year head coach at Auburn, and turning them completely around. But I can still see where Gary Pinkel could get some votes and possibly win it. Alright, Yummy Milk 100 says, after today's win against the Saints, do you think the Jets may make the Super Bowl? I don't think they have enough. I mean, I think they're so much better than I thought they were going to be. Completely honest, I'm pretty embarrassed at the fact that in my preseason videos, I said the Jets very easily could go 0-16, and I look like a complete moron for saying that. They look so much better than I thought they were, and they're playing at such a high competitive level compared to what I thought they were. They make the playoffs, possibly, but even if they do, I don't think they have enough to make it to the Super Bowl. But hey, I'm the one that's been doubting them all along, so who knows how far they can go. Alright, Mega UGA Dogs ask another question. Why is getting laid in high school so important to some people? So they even worry about losing my virginity and worry about what I do in school. I don't know. Some people just have different, different values in life, I guess. And things are, I mean, it's all personal. I mean, if it's not important to you, what does it matter? I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, it really isn't. Trust me. There's nothing different about your life. It's no big deal. I don't know why. They just try to look cool, I guess. And I mean, if it's not something that they do just for themselves, it's what they do to try to act cool in front of other people. It's not something they keep themselves. It's something that they tell other people to make them seem cool. And should you worry about it? I mean, I don't think so. It's not a big deal at all. And yeah, just worry about what you're doing in school. You'll definitely appreciate it later on in life. Especially if you're trying to get a scholarship in college. Trust me. Do good on the ACT. It will make your life so much easier in college, from scholarships to being exempt from some classes. Trust me, do good on the ACT. High school classes, they don't matter. It's just ACT, trust me. If you can have a decent GPA, which you really don't have to try for in high school, if you can have at least a 3.5 and you just focus on the ACT, that's all that matters. Was Nick Fairley going to be number 3 on your list of people you can't stand? Same guy asking the question. No, I know he's a dirty player and everything, and he played for Auburn, but for some reason I never really hated him. I just knew he was a dirty player. Nothing really grinded my gears about him. Alright, ex-Auburn says, good video. Do you think the Alabama versus LSU game will be a game? Personally, I see a blowout. Alabama 38. Wow. Oh, wow, man. You are an absolute beast. He says he thinks, he posted this a week ago, he thinks Alabama will win this game 38-17. Good job, man. That's awesome. I predicted in my prediction video, I said, if you go back and watch it, I said 42-17. I was 4 points off. Got the LSU score right, but you got the Alabama score right. You're a beast, man. Frick. Let me know what you think the freaking Iron Bowl is going to be, and let me use that in my prediction video for it when the time comes. I don't necessarily agree that Gus is not a long-term fix. Nick Sabans are not falling off trees. His offense will always be good enough to win any game. I could see him in the NFL possibly if Chip Kelly does well. He does not seem to be recruiting on stars, and we have landed key prospects at key positions. You think Richt should be fired? Not if he'll be fired. Thanks. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I do. I mean, He's been looking. If he can get a defense, a competitive defense that, I mean, it's not like their defense has been looking horrible, but if they can get a defense that can play, I wouldn't necessarily say on Alabama's level, but get to where consistent and can stop the run, just an overall solid defense with that offense. Watch out, but I mean, I haven't really been able to. I mean, I can't really say right now. I agree, but I mean, that's why we have different opinions. But once he can prove to me he can build a team with a defense that is very solid, that's when I'll start to buy in and think he'll be a really, really good coach. Because no doubt, I mean, no argument for me that he's one of the best offensive minds in all of college football. But I mean, you got to play pretty good defense too. But I mean, frick, see what they did with Cam Newton in 2010. And do you think Richt should be fired? Oh, I do want to say that the defensive line of Auburn is ridiculous. Their defensive line is very good for Auburn, but their back seven is not so great. As long as Jake Holland's a starter, I can't take him serious. Jake Holland is not good at all. Me and my uncle, who's an Auburn fan, always joke around about Jake Holland. His question was, do you think Richt should be fired? I don't know. It's not like he has Georgia. I mean, you can't fault him for everything this season. Yeah, you can fault him for the Georgia Clemson game because, I mean, they were healthy then. And they lost a ton of starters, but you can't make excuses at this level. But then half his team got injured, man. You gotta think about that. But I understand what you're saying with the question because they've been average and not won anything significant. Have they won the SEC under his coaching? I don't think so. So, I mean, Georgia's a top program, and I think the biggest thing when looking at Mark Richt is the fact that he does not keep his top talent in state. They are going to the Alabamas, the Auburns, the Floridas. They're not going to Alabama. I mean, to Georgia, and that's a big thing because Georgia, they are probably the fourth most talented state when it comes to producing football recruits. You got Texas, Florida, California, then I think it's Georgia. And if Georgia could lock down their in-state talent, that could be a heck of a team, but they're not. So, should he be fired? It's hard to say because he's not a bad coach, but I think they should move on. I'm not sure if they're going to do it, but I think they should. I would hate to say fired though, because I mean he's not a bad coach, but I do think they should move on. Jackson Bear 1 says, who is your favorite GTA 5 character? Michael, Franklin, or Trevor? Probably Trevor. He's insane, but he's fun to play with. I haven't had to play it in forever. School's taken over my life. Lob City Clips 24 says, do you think the Chargers will make the playoffs? Honestly, I don't think so. I think that division's too deep. They're a lot better. I said about the Jets, they're a lot better than I thought they were going to be. Phillip Rivers, he's completely transformed back into his old ways. Mike McCoy's brought back that passing offense that the Chargers once had, and they have it pretty much again. But I don't think they have enough to make the playoffs. But another draft class or so, and I can see them in it. And Dustin Horton says, what do you think the Dallas Cowboys need to do to win? Just field a better defense, play better defense. They have a good offense. I mean, Tony Romo's a really good quarterback, I think. They need to be clutch. He needs to be clutch in big-time situations, which has been a big criticism of his play. But he needs to be clutch. They need to play better defense. Mikey Ryan Terp says, how many listeners do you average per show on your radio show at South Alabama? Also, what are your chances that you play quarterback for South Alabama next year? What team do you That's a really good question. What team do you prioritize first, USA or Alabama? That's my shirt. My hat. Like, what if both teams are playing at the same time? Which team would you pick to watch? How many listeners do I average on my show? Honestly, I'm not sure. It's not a lot. I mean, the radio right now, the station is actually not on the actual radio. It's on the official university app and the university website. We applying for our FCC licensings just think we're gonna do it next week, or we already did. I'm not sure. Sometime soon we're gonna apply for that, and that's like actual a radio station. I think we're gonna be like 96.9 in our area. But when that happens, I mean that gives us an opportunity to like just random people just flipping through channels and listening in and gain an audience. But right now you have to be on the app to listen to it on the the website. So it's not a lot. I think I never asked it was my first time because I was so embarrassed. It was like 25. I think the first time I never asked again. It was really embarrassing. What are my chances that I'll play for South Alabama next year? I really don't know. I have not decided yet if I'm gonna try to walk on or not. I really haven't. I've just been like, with how busy I've been right now. I can't imagine putting all that time into football. I want to do it. I really do. I've been so torn in between this, but I just don't know what I want to do right now. I might take another year. I think that's probably what I'm gonna do. Just take a year, just settle down in the college. So I'm still not completely in the groove yet. I mean, I need to really finish a full year of college to see if that's the best option. Because I mean, that is my dream. It's my dream to play college football. And could I walk on and make it? I really think I would have a decent shot at doing so. And that maybe like actually starting one day, probably not. Probably really not. But I mean, it's not. I would not say it's that difficult to walk on, and I'm not bad by any means. But I do want to add some more weight. I mean, I'm about 180 right now. I want to get to about 190 at least. Hopefully, I can grow a little bit over the next year. Just work a little bit more into it, and just get a little bit more into the college life. And then, I mean, I still might. I have another month or so to decide, but right now I'm leaning toward give me one more year to get ready, get settled in the college life, and then possibly doing it. Because I'm just so busy right now, it's ridiculous. And yeah. What team do you okay, real quick. I like by saying I'm gonna walk on. I mean, if you think about it, colleges probably have about 10 quarterbacks that are actually on the roster that are walk-ons. Doesn't mean they practice with the like first team, second team. Like half of them might not even play in the practice squad. They might just be there to throw to receivers in individual drills. And if that's what I had to do, I would definitely do it. I just want to be part of a college football team because that is my dream. That is my dream, and that would be awesome. But that's that. That's a really good question, by the way. What team do you prioritize first, USA or Alabama? This is another very good question. Alabama, but I do like to say that it feels a lot different being a fan of a team that you're actually attending school of. I mean, I'm really passionate about it. I love both schools. If both teams are on at the same time, I have a laptop and a TV here. I actually have a desktop, a laptop, and a TV. If there are 3 good games on at one time, I'll watch all 3 at the same time. If Alabama and South are on at the same time, I'll put South on my laptop and Alabama on the TV. So with putting South, well, I have to watch South on the laptop actually because I have to watch them on the internet because they're not actually on the TV. They're on ESPN3, which I don't get, so I have to watch them through First Row Sports, which is an illegal website. So if I had to prioritize, like say, man, that's really difficult. Like if Alabama and South played each other, frick, I would probably have to pull for Alabama. But if South won, I don't know. That's so weird. I don't want to think about that. That's really weird. Yeah, I don't want to think about that. I don't think they would ever schedule Alabama on their schedule. I don't think Alabama would ever do it either. I think there's something to do with like some in-state law or something that does not allow them to play not just Alabama and USA. I think it's like Alabama will never play UAB or Troy or teams like that again. So I'm not sure if that will ever happen. So hopefully it doesn't, because that will put me really in a bind. But I love both schools. But Alabama, I think, will always, no matter what, remain my number one. but it does feel different, and I do like my South Alabama Jaguars. So I'd say 1 Alabama, South Alabama. Okay, that was a hard question to answer. Okay, my ex Connor says, "Why is you a hoe bag? On a scale of 1 to 10, how sexy is your friend Connor, and how much do you love boiled peanuts?" I don't know why I'm a hoe bag. On a 1 to 10, you're a -4, and I really do like boiled peanuts. So they're really good, and they're really messy. So don't ever get them at football games when you don't have napkins. Cody White says, "Are you going to make a mid-season 2014 mock draft?" That's a good idea, and I might do that. I was actually thinking about it. So when I get out for maybe Thanksgiving break or Christmas break, I'll think about doing that. Carson Jacobs says, "Who do you think will have #1 overall pick in the NFL draft, and who will get picked?" There's a bunch of teams that are, I don't know if you call fighting for it, but are in the running for it. You have the Jaguars, the Tampa Bay Bucks, well, there's somebody else that's 0-8. Let me check real quick. I'm actually not even sure. I know you have the Bucks, the Jaguars. There's somebody else that's 0-8, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. Or am I mistaken? Jags, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Is that it? I think that's it. So it's probably going to be the Jags or the Bucks. Alright, and in that case, I think you have one of 3 options. Where's the comment page? If the Jaguars get the first pick, I think they get Teddy Bridgewater. If the Bucks get the first pick, I think they get 1 or 2 people, Teddy Bridgewater, which I think it'll be kind of difficult for them to pick a quarterback right after they got a quarterback in the 2nd round last year, which they've invested a lot into, Mike Glennon. So I'm not sure if they want to take a more an approach to just immediately try to change it and not try to get another position of need and not rely on Mike Glennon, or do the opposite and rely on Mike Glennon and try to get another position of need. So if they don't get Teddy Bridgewater and then go the Mike Glennon approach, I think they go after Jadeveon Clowney. So I think it's either going to be Teddy Bridgewater or Jadeveon Clowney. If there's a Bucks pick, if the Jags pick Teddy Bridgewater. Sorry, I feel kind of weird. Like I don't feel like I'm doing good with my thoughts right now. I feel kind of odd. I apologize. Daniel Perry says, "Who do you think will win? Who do you think would win between Baylor and Ohio State?" Man, that's tough. That's really tough. I think I would want Baylor to win, so I think in that case Ohio State would win. I really don't know. That's a tough game, but I think Ohio State would pull it out. I think it would be a high-scoring game, but somehow, some way, Ohio State would pull it out. CH Extreme 96 says, "What do you think went wrong for Oregon? You think we have any chance of getting back into the title race? What about Mariota's Heisman chances? Go Ducks." I think before the game, I thought Marcus Mariota was leading for the Heisman. Now his shots are pretty much it's pretty much shot down unless Alabama or Florida State loses. I think his shots are his chances are done for. I still think he's a great quarterback, and I don't think he really had a bad game. He just was pressured a lot and didn't get to scramble because Stanford's defense played a heck of a game, and that really was the problem. Stanford has an amazing defense, a senior-led defense. They're pumped up by the crowd. Just really, I think it's just a lack of physical play in the Pac-12, and Oregon gets to run through all these schools because they're so much better than them, and the teams they play are so different than Stanford, and then all of a sudden they have to play a Stanford that is physical, with a physical brand of football, which really doesn't match up well for Oregon. So I think it's a combination of all of a sudden having to change your style, changing your whole entire approach, and other thing is Stanford's very good. So I think it's a combination of that and just turnovers. Turnovers was a huge thing. I mean, turnovers. There was 2 or 3, maybe I think there's 2 or 3 times that Oregon turned the ball over inside their 20, and I mean, if they don't turn the ball over one of those times, they win probably. So turnovers and Stanford being a good team is probably the 2 biggest things. And if there's any chance, it's very, very slim. Like there's 3 teams right now. That's 4 teams that's undefeated. So you'll need 3 of those teams to. Well, I think it's kind of really impossible because even if some way miraculously Alabama, Florida State, Ohio State, and Baylor lose, Stanford still would be ranked above Oregon because of head-to-head game in the poll. So Stanford would go ahead of Oregon. So I hate it for you, man, but I don't think there's too much of a chance. And then not 242 says that Oregon goes undefeated with Mariota be a lot for the Heisman. The answer for that, I would say yes, but they lost, so no. But if I would actually answer this when I was supposed to, well, I was supposed to answer this on Monday, so the game was on Thursday, so I wouldn't have answered it either way. But if I would have answered this question when you asked me, the answer would have been yes, but obviously it's not anymore. T. Walker 2 says, also, who do you think will have the most success in the NFL, AJ McCarron or Aaron Murray? Man, you put me in a bind here. I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's going to be even. I got to put it at that because it's so hard to predict. Aaron Murray's broke all the records. I mean, he puts up the better stats. I mean, what do you? It's really it's crazy what people mean by their term of success is so based on individual perspectives. I mean, some people would say Aaron Murray looks better in college because of his stats, and some say AJ McCarron is better in college because of less turnovers and the success factor of winning national championships and SEC championships. So it really means, like, determines what you mean by success. And on that note, I don't want to say anything because it's hard to pick. If I had to lean one way, I do think I would say McCarron because of size, arm strength, accuracy is maybe a little question mark there, but Aaron Murray is a heck of a player, and can he be successful in the NFL? I really do think so. So it's really hard to pick. JD Sports says, okay, just don't be mad at me for asking this. Why do you hate Ohio State so much? I actually thought about this the other day, and I can't think of what my actual answer was, but it was something like, I don't think it's really me hating Ohio State, but as a fan, I love seeing teams that have not ever got chances before get bumped up and have the opportunity to play for something big that nobody would have ever imagined. And they're in the way of that, really. They're in the way of a Baylor. Well, right now, I guess it's Baylor, but they're in the way of Baylor right now. I mean, if Florida State loses, Alabama loses, they're right there to take up the spot of Baylor. So I think it's more of the not me hating Ohio State. It's the fact that I want them to lose to give teams that's never been there before the opportunity to play for something big. So that's really the thing with me. So that was a good question, and I really don't hate Ohio State. It's just as I described. Boston Celtics for 18th says, why does the media / fans hate the Big Ten so much? Everybody acts like Ohio State faces MAC and FCS teams. I thought about this one as well. It's because in every conference that's labeled in the Big Four, the ACC, Big 12, Big 12, I don't know. In the ACC, the Pac-12, and the SEC, you have you have those top tier teams that are ranked in the top 10, top 5, and even if they don't play those schools, they go out of conference and play a top team. You have Ohio State in the Big Ten that has none of those teams. Nobody in the Big Ten is ranked in the top 10, the top 5. I don't think there's anybody ranked in the top 20. Michigan State might be 19. Wisconsin's really I think they're 23. But I mean, I think that's the reason right there, because Ohio State's not really beat anybody that's looked in the national perspective as being a top tier team in college football terms. And with that said, they hadn't even gone out of conference to play anybody that's good. They haven't played. They played Buffalo, San Diego State, Florida A&M. So it's the fact that they haven't played anybody that that is good at all and out of conference schedule, and the Big 12, I mean the Big 10 has nobody ranked high in the polls. So it's a combination of that. Alright, and it really kind of screwed them up early on in the year when they struggled with the San Diego States, the Buffaloes. That was a big thing. Alright, that was it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, I apologize that this came out so late. And I apologize. I felt like I made a really bad video. Kind of was not getting my thoughts out like I usually do. But anyways, I still hope you enjoyed. Please let me know any questions that you have so you can be featured in next week's episode. Leave a question in the comment section below. Hopefully you all have Google Plus accounts so you can keep asking questions. And yeah, so leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe to my channel, and be sure to leave a question in the comment section below. If you're new to the series, ask anything. I mean, it can be about my life, about sports, be about school. It can be about college. It can be about school, about college, or about school, or about college, about sports, or about my life. And do realize, though, that sometimes I don't get time to make it on a Friday. So it's called Friday Questions and Answers, but it can sometimes be uploaded on a Saturday or Sunday. I was going to do it earlier in the day, but didn't. So that's it, guys. If you enjoyed, please leave a comment and a question. So catch you guys later. Have a great week. Peace.